Well, we are diving back into the world of art. And we're going to see what Web3's promises of democratization means in the context of the art world. We have Céline Wang here with us, the VP Bank's head of digital assets, and she's with a great panel of guests, so let's all welcome them to the stage.
Bonjour, good morning, ni hao, and as we say in Switzerland, grüezi. My name is Céline Wong. I come from VP Bank, and I'm absolutely delighted to be invited at the Binance conference. We are now today just dipping our toes in the world of art, and especially how through digitalization, the whole democracy and the liberalization of the industry is being executed. To my left, I'd like to introduce Fred.
Morning.
Welcome, Fred. So Fred is the CEO of crypto blockchain industries, and he has been in the gaming industry for a while. And to the left, I'd like to introduce Lucie-Éléonore.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Lucie is the CEO of the NFT Factory. To your left, I'd like to introduce Qinwen.
Sorry, hello.
Good morning. And she is representing the Web3 Foundation. And what would this panel be without somebody reflecting from the art world, being an artist himself? Julien, welcome to the panel.
Morning.
And his partner, Alan, as well. So we already see that there's a huge increase in the interest. And I think nowadays it's really interesting to see what are the tools in today's world that you, Fred, will strongly believe it's actually enabling us to democratizing the art industries.
Thank you. Good morning. As far as art is concerned, and I think art is just an example because you can do the same for music, what we are doing is quite simple. I think and the topic is about democracy, so first we are making sure that everyone can have access to art. Second, we're making sure that any artist can upload any content they have created. And third, we're making sure that anyone can buy the piece of art, right? So if I just summarize that and give you a couple of examples. Next week, we're opening the Alphaverse, which is the metaverse that we have been working on for more than a year. And one of the key principles is to let people upload content freely. So for any artist, it will be an opportunity. There will be curation, of course, but it is an opportunity for every artist to upload any content they have created. It's free, and they will be able to show their creation. So this is, you don't need to go to a gallery, you don't need to go anywhere else. You can just upload, as an artist, your creation. That's the first thing that we are doing. Second thing that we are doing, we let, of course, anyone enter the metaverse, check out the quality, appreciate the work, and this is open, this is free for everyone, you don't need a wallet. And I think this is also part of democracy, just to let anyone access and show and look at the art. And the third thing that we are doing, of course, this is part of the Web 3.0, is we let artists create their collections of NFTs and sell their NFTs. So we're trying to make that open for everybody. You don't need to get any authorization. There's just a curation, of course, on the type of art, which is quite usual, just to make sure we do comply with applicable regulations. But apart from that, it's really Web 3.0. It's open to everyone. It's for art, but it's going to be also for music, for anything that is digital content.
So personally, since I'm actually coming from a bank, and you just mentioned quite rightly, it's also about the financing aspect. So with tokens, of course, that gives a different asset class as well. And so I'd like to maybe ask you, Lucie, with the NFT Factory, so you see lots of transaction on the sale and the transfer of NFT tokens. What does that actually, do you foresee the future to be in that space? Does that mean that the classic old school auction houses and trades and sales processes will be completely replaced, or what is your opinion on that?
It's a very interesting question, especially because before being the CEO of the NFT Factory, I had my own auction house. And I've organized in last March the first physical auction of NFTs. What is interesting, very interesting for artists with NFTs, especially for digital artists, is it's that the NFTs allow them to earn a living. And NFTs have created the market of the digital art. And that's very interesting because before NFTs, obviously there were digital works of art and there were digital artists, but there were no way or no obvious way to sell a digital artwork. And NFTs, because they can give the ownership of a digital file, allow artists to prove that they are selling something, a digital artwork, and because there is this possibility of scarcity of the digital file, as there is a possibility of valuation, of monetization, and of commercialization. So thanks to NFTs, artists can sell their work. Digital artists can sell their work. And that makes a big, big difference. And NFTs have, for me, really created the digital art market. So besides that, NFTs allow artists to connect directly with the collectors. And auction houses, traditional galleries have to rethink their role and their value in this direct connection between artists and collectors.
So you're also saying we have the opportunity to demonopolize the auction house industry as well, as you named quite rightly. So I think that would be a super introduction to Julien. So Julien is a pop-up artist, and I invite everybody to view his artwork, which is quite remarkable. And as Lucie-Éléonore just said, that gives you another opportunity to connect with your buyers and or completely opens another revenue stream. As we all quite know that often artists tend to make a bigger profit after they have passed away, which we hope it's not going to happen so soon. But how does that mean to you? That have you enabled another market? Could you have other buyers through the NFT opportunity?
Thank you for this question. If you allow me to answer in French, it will be easier for me. Ce qui change beaucoup selon moi via les NFT, c'est que aujourd'hui, ça permet aux artistes en fait de toucher directement leur public. C'est quelque chose de différent. C'est un moyen en gros, de démocratiser un petit peu l'art. Sans passer forcément par des institutions qui étaient vues précédemment comme élitistes. C'est quelque chose de différent. On peut toucher les amateurs d'art via les galeries, via les musées, via ce genre de choses. Mais aujourd'hui, via les NFT, on peut être directement en contact avec le public. Et c'est quelque chose de complètement différent, parce qu'au final, c'est un petit peu eux qui décident de la valeur d'une œuvre. Quand on lance une collection d'NFT ou une œuvre, la valeur est décidée par le public. Et c'est quelque chose de complètement différent, à mon sens. Donc ça a permis aussi à beaucoup de créateurs digitaux d'être valorisés à leur juste valeur en tant qu'artistes digitaux, parce que avant les NFT, évidemment, comme tout le monde le sait, une œuvre digitale était copiable à volonté. Et le principe de propriété a complètement changé la donne. Donc pour moi, c'est un vrai pas en avant pour ces artistes digitaux. Et ça permet aussi aux artistes traditionnels de se lancer dans des nouvelles techniques, comme moi je peux le faire dans toutes mes techniques de création. Je touche toujours à beaucoup de choses, à beaucoup d'univers. Et ça m'a vraiment intéressé de me lancer dans le digital. Je l'ai toujours fait, mais je me consacrais vraiment aux œuvres traditionnelles comme je pouvais le faire habituellement. Mais aujourd'hui, les choses ont changé et on sait qu'il y a des amateurs d'art aussi, mais d'art digital. Et c'est quelque chose de nouveau.
So, with my little French, can I summarize? That, from an artist perspective, allows Julien to be independent of galleries and auction houses, because in today's primarily market, artworks tend to be evaluated at the monopolistic market, and that now actually gives the power back to the creating artist. In addition, if I understood correctly, is that with NFTs and digital formats, it allows you to create multiple replications and limited editions, which previously in the physical artwork tends to be a lot more cumbersome and expensive. And of course, that will, for an artist perspective, takes the cost down as well. And
yeah, exactly. That was perfect.
okay, well, it seems like I can pick up on my school French. And that would actually swing me over to Qinwen. Thank you for being here with us today. So coming from the Web3 Foundation, you of course also see that there's a lot of movements, and do you think that having the digital marketplaces, what would that mean in your opinion, how it revolutionized the market?
So I'm with Web3 Foundation. That's the foundation for the network called Polkadot, founded by also the CTO of Ethereum, Gavin Wood. It's a very crypto-native environment. I work with many ecosystem teams, including many digital projects built on for the metaverse. But on the other side, because of my art background, so I'm also doing many things in the NFT. So I always be the bridge for the fine art auction house and also the digital world, including Christie and Sotheby's, for the NFT 101 education course for Christie's, and also Sotheby's metaverse sale as the collectors. And another thing is on the physical space. So we're talking about so many things about the digital. Last year, me and myself and Bo Han from BCA Lab, we co-produced the world's first institution museum exhibition in UCC Beijing. So from that, I see we need this correlation connecting both the digital and also the metaverse, because art is about social, art is about connecting people to find the work and also the community that can elaborate your taste and your ideas. Especially now we have the crypto art community, which are consists of like the developers, like the very Bitcoin or Ethereum or other different communities believers. So how can that be the bridge communicating with the fine art world? So I would say the physical space, like what Lucien is doing, is very necessary. And on the other hand, because of the pandemic, everything, and right now even the art buzzer, many of the art fair, they start to building the metaverse space. So doing the digital twins, it definitely makes sense. And also we might be thinking about the multi-chain future, because we have Sandbox yesterday, and also judging from our like layer 1 or layer 0, this competitor public chain space, there are gonna be many more new gallery comes out. How can we connect each other and through the cross-chain solution to at least in the digital art space for the collectors or for the NFT collectors able to transact? And also we need to figure out like different wallet issue. There's a very interesting scenario that actually happened in Paris. So a very well-known French museum would like to start to collect NFT and also open for NFT donation. But the question seems to me, to them, is like, how should they collect? Who should hold the private key if it's through a wallet? Because museum here, especially for that museum, it's owned by French government. And also the government there, and also I see there's opportunity for all of us here to creating the new heritage. So before that, we have this art, finance, heritage. You probably can to avoid your taxation by setting up the private museum or through the donation. So what's gonna be the new rule in the NFT world? I think that's a very interesting question for all of us here to explore. Yeah.
Thank you. I actually would like to add to that. So my bank is the first bank that we do tokenization of assets and artworks. And in your case, what we had actually done is we had tokenized an artwork for a private collector. And tokens that had been issued, it was actually 10 tokens, they had then been auctioned for charity. So now that also banks are moving into that space, they also are now going into collateral lending, meaning they're not liquid assets, such as an artwork. So where previously you may actually have a fine art that's hanging in your wall, but clearly it's non-liquid, meaning that you can't do anything with this. Now Liechtenstein is one of the countries in the world that has issued the TVTG law. So it's the first blockchain law in the world, actually, or the first country in the world that has issued that law, that when tokens are being hacked or stolen, that you can actually go into court and it's a liable court case for it. And that's, of course, becomes super interesting for the finance industry. So what we had done is we are using now non-liquid asset for tokens, and we use the tokens as collateral with an interesting LTV on it, meaning that also for the collector's world, this will change a whole liquidity space that you can do bridge financing and at a much more interesting interest rates that we have currently on the market. And also for artists, this also changes their way of operating, because as we all know, creating art can also be extremely pricey. And having this opportunity in having the collateralized token lending, that would also allow artists to finance their projects and their work in today's world. And also from, again, a traditional bank's world, using the options also on the artworks as a collateral, that is another financing bridge. And maybe Fred, so you had shared that now it actually puts accessibility to people. And do you already see a market increase and more people accessing the market because of the liberalization?
Look, yes, the short answer is yes, but the most important thing, especially for those in the room who are maybe not interested in art, but also in other topics, what you just discussed about Liechtenstein and all these laws is that we are talking about art today, but this can be applied to any type of assets. So that's the most important thing. Whatever we're saying here about, oh, I'm finding a new artist and I'm bringing that guy, that girl to the market, that can also be applied, especially with some of these regulations, some of these new NFTs, to any type of asset. If you're in real estate, if you're in music, if you're in any physical asset that has to be tokenized, you can even tokenize gold. So it's super interesting to see exactly what 3.0 is bringing to everybody here. And yes, we see a very significant increase. And I think the most important part is, and I'm just going to give you an example, what we're trying to do is to basically locate and identify the next wave of artists, right? If I speak about football, I'm interested to own the NFT of Mbappe today or the NFT of Neymar today, sure. What's more interesting to me is to find the next Mbappe when he's only 13, the next Neymar when he's only 12, and get his NFT. And this is exactly what we're trying to do, not only in art, but also every time we collect NFTs. The whole point of buying an NFT at the end of the day is the satisfaction. And there's also money involved. If you talk about art, after each convention, they all talk about how much revenue has been generated by the sale of art. This is, the convention has been successful. It's not really about art. There's also a component about money. So I think the most important here with art is really that what we are trying to do is to bring everyone, any new artist, to the market so that anyone can access it. And no matter where you live, you don't have to come, especially in France, to Paris. You can just do it from, you're in Vichy, right? So you can do it from anywhere you are, and that's the most important thing for us, which is to bring the tools so anyone can have access to it, art or any other digital art.
Maybe I throw the question now towards the metaverse opportunities. So Lucie-Éléonore, with you now producing the NFT factory, how are you now utilizing the metaverse also for your artists?
First of all, we are opening a physical space, so we are very focused on this. Because I believe, like you said, that we have to create bridges between artists and the public. And as Julien said, the public can be more and more interested in artists and in digital artists, and it's a real chance for artists. But we have first to educate people, because the masses don't know anything yet about NFTs. And that's very important for the growth of the NFT world and for the impact of NFTs, that we have to, that people can understand the real potentiality of NFTs. And the NFT Factory will be a place where people can go and have answers to their questions about NFTs, where they can learn things, where they can see works of art, because there will be a gallery. And I really believe that we have to first evangelize people to prove them that the future is going to be great in the metaverse, but also in physical life, because NFTs have also many use cases in physical life, real life.
And maybe that to you, Julien. What are your thoughts around the metaverse?
Comme le disait Lucie juste avant, c'est très important justement de démocratiser l'art, passer de faire le lien entre le virtuel et le réel, c'est très important. Et pour ça, il faut qu'on arrive justement à faire comprendre au grand public en fait l'intérêt de ces œuvres du digital. Donc ça passe par évidemment donner les moyens aux artistes, les techniques, les outils pour créer de l'art digital. Mais avant tout, je pense qu'il faut arriver à passer cette étape pour le grand public de la compréhension de ce que sont les NFT. Parce que la première fois qu'on entend parler de ça, d'œuvres digitales, on se dit ok, de quoi on parle, je suis intéressé par l'art, mais c'est difficile de passer le cap. Et pourtant, une œuvre d'art, c'est avant tout une création de l'esprit d'un artiste, peu importe le support, que ce soit digital, physique. Et je pense que dès que le grand public aura compris cet aspect-là, au moins je parle en tant qu'artiste, hein, bien sûr, dès que le grand public aura compris cet aspect-là, on assistera à une démocratisation de l'art en digital.
Let's meet at the NFT Factory soon.
Seems like we have already a business
Avec
connection
plaisir.
here. The panel's already worth it. Qinwen, you had mentioned the fine art as well, and you had, of course, your experience in the fine art world. And now, do you actually, through NFTs, do you see a generational shift as well? Because when we're talking fine art, we are looking more at more mature collectors who are appreciating the art in a different way, whereas NFTs are also looked at into the investable angle. So, what are your thoughts on that?
So first, I will talk about the artists. You'll see the fine art artist name are coming into the NFT space and also do the job in a very community-oriented way. And we, in 2017, when the art and tech were, also you mentioned about the word tokenization. We're always thinking about how to tokenize a Picasso. But in crypto world, it's always about community. So every single community member have access to one NFT or one PFP. The whole 10K project is, the value of the 10K project is equivalent probably to a Picasso. So that's a very vivid example of new art democracy. So it's not gonna be, one person own the one masterpiece and hold in his private home. It's about everyone in the digital world. You have your digital art ownership in your wallet, and you can project it through a wallet to probably screen, or you can work with a museum or work with a physical gallery to showcasing your work, and also maybe do the IP licensing. So artists probably like Damien Hirst and also some Japanese artists, they're very successful in doing this. You definitely see the trend is coming back. And also on the second point, you see like the fine art institution, like Christie's, they started the Art and Tech Summit since 2018. So because of my background in both art and tech, so I'm involving with them in the summit for content and also for some talks since by the days 2018 in London, and all the way across to Hong Kong and also in New York, and also they just launched a Web3 fund, Web3 venture. what surprised me is they not just invest in the NFT project, but also looking at the layer 1, really try to build the network with the community here. And Sotheby's, they launched the Sotheby's Metaverse. It's a very successful transaction to catering the young generation and providing them with the new stage. Because from the traditional artwork and the gallery system, it's almost impossible for a very young artist, to directly go to the Sotheby's. It's thanks to the NFT world, the primary market and the secondary market are so close. Yeah, so that's
absolutely. Yeah. That's very interesting with NFT auctions. The role of auction houses for NFTs have completely changed because traditionally auction houses are for the second market. They sell works that have already been owned by someone. And now they have the role of a gallery, so they interact on the first market. When I've organized the first French auction of NFTs, it was almost all artists from the first market, so I had the role of a gallery. So NFTs are really repositioning intermediaries, and it's very interesting to see and to think about it. And what I wanted to say too for the democratization, especially for artists, is the system of the royalties that NFTs permit, which allow artists to own something, to get some money in case of resale, and that's very, very useful for artists because they can not only they can sell the first time, but they can earn a living by the resales after.
I can see a big smile on Julian's face. So what is your thoughts on that you're now actually having an additional continuous revenue stream? So as Lucie-Éléonore just said, you can actually continuously also earn a revenue even if you don't own the artwork as such anymore.
Donc selon moi, ça c'est une complète révolution parce que c'est quelque chose de totalement différent. C'est quelque chose qui a été fait précédemment dans l'univers de la musique. Les artistes, une fois qu'ils ont créé leur musique, leurs chansons, etc., suivent le rythme en fait de la croissance de leur œuvre. C'est quelque chose de totalement différent aujourd'hui grâce au NFT parce que un artiste qui aura créé une œuvre digitale pourra suivre aussi la vie de son œuvre, et c'est quelque chose qui n'était pas permis avant. Donc l'artiste continue d'être lié à son œuvre via ce système de royalties qui change un petit peu la donne aussi. C'est vrai que c'est un aspect intéressant et c'est ce genre d'élément qui invitera aussi les artistes à travailler sur ce type de support. Et plus il y aura d'artistes qui travailleront sur ce domaine, plus les gens s'intéresseront à l'art digital. Donc je pense que ce sera un cercle vertueux.
Yeah, but what's also interesting is that you can have a physical creation, then you can add a digital creation. It could be just the replica, or it could be just a tokenization of the same piece of art. And then on the other end, you can also just go straight digital and forget the physical part, or you may add the physical part later. So you also have additional revenue streams for any artist, for any auction house, and for anyone who is part of the ecosystem. So we are also multiplying the opportunities just to spread the art and to have more people involved.
And that actually, Julien, you had included in your artwork as well. So I was reading with interest on your work that you also have an innovative burn mechanism. Could you elaborate on that for me, please?
Bien sûr. Alors, comme on a évoqué tout à l'heure, on parlait de Damien Hirst qui a justement sauté le pas des NFT. On s'est beaucoup inspiré de son travail et de sa collection The Currency, qui a apporté justement un mécanisme de burn et qui a proposé aux gens le choix d'échanger ou non leur NFT, leur œuvre digitale. C'est une question très difficile. Et quand j'ai choisi d'entrer dans le monde du digital, c'était évident pour moi qu'il fallait, pour ne pas oublier ma communauté actuelle qui me suit pour mon art traditionnel, c'était évident pour moi qu'il fallait apporter une œuvre physique aussi à cette collection. Donc c'est pour ça que j'ai choisi de lier chaque NFT à une œuvre physique. Donc là où on a été un petit peu innovant par rapport au système de Damien Hirst, c'est qu'on a proposé un système progressif avec 3 fenêtres de burn, donc d'échange de son NFT contre une œuvre physique. C'est un moyen qui permet aussi de démocratiser les œuvres originales, puisque par ce biais, en achetant un NFT, on peut potentiellement avoir une œuvre originale que je vais moi customiser dans mon atelier, qui est faite par moi-même. Et le pinceau qui est juste ici sur la table sera la première œuvre que vous pourrez échanger lors de la première fenêtre d'échange. Et l'intérêt avec ce mécanisme de burn qui est progressif, c'est que la valeur des œuvres que vous pourrez recevoir en échange sera évidemment progressive. Donc il y aura une fenêtre à 3 mois, une fenêtre à 1 an et une fenêtre à 3 ans qui vous permettra de récupérer une œuvre originale. Voilà.
So in a quick summary, if I understood correctly, you basically offer with somebody who had bought an NFT that there are 3, I shall call it release options. So that's already predefined. That's when the buyer of his artwork or of the NFT has the opportunity to claim back the physical art or the ownership of the physical art. And so do you, maybe Qinwen, see that this will happen a lot, so that in the future people tend to buy lots of NFTs and they're also wanting to have the physical art?
Yeah, definitely, because we are living in the real world still, not directly going to the metaverse. And also, if we're talking about really bringing the Web2 people into Web3, not only the developers who work on the application layer, but probably the traditional collectors. So I know one of my friends who has been an art advisor based in Switzerland, Zug. He has done several exhibitions, and he's actually the first one to introduce CryptoPunk very early 2018 in Switzerland through an offline exhibition. So since then, some of his traditional collectors are start to move into the digital NFT collecting space through his advice, because you will see many complications, how to buy in the crypto and to what to buy the NFT and where to store the security, everything. So definitely, I would say artists like Julien or some artists also like Damien Hirst, the currency, the project, I think it's a very successful one. So they provide several payment way, credit card, MetaMask, and also they give you the choices to do NFT or the physical. It's a way to cater in different people's taste and needs. So from the result, you definitely see his traditional art collector prefer, physical over NFTs. And most of my friends who got the work, they choose NFT, which mostly are like the Web3 people. Yeah.
Would you, Fred, elaborate a little bit more on the Alphaverse? So you're looking to build up a gallery as well? And that meaning you'll have to approach artists, and how would you collect those?
I think what we want to basically give the tools, first and foremost, and make sure that everyone knows that with these tools, they can come to the metaverse and they can upload, show off their creations. And this is really, the most important thing for me, which is, as part of democracy, if you don't have the tools, you cannot, make any progress. So here the goal is to first give the tools, give the space. Of course, in the digital world, we don't have a physical location. But I think with the tools and with the proper training and bringing us the audience, this is the best opportunity for every artist. And then down the road, you will see more and more artists, investors, visitors coming. And I think if we reach that, I think we will have reached our objective, definitely.
Good. Well, unfortunately, I was already coming to an end of this panel. So in a quick conclusion, I think we all agree that there's a full revolution in the art industry. It gives us excessive transparency, access, and also that people can enjoy the art as a means of also relaxation and reflecting on today's world and society. So at this moment, I'd love to thank my panelists for joining me on stage today. And I wish everyone still a continuous successful conference today. Thank you for having us.
Merci.
Thank you.